Hello and welcome. My name is Nafula, and today I'll be talking about how to determine where you're hosted in the United States. A lot of people like myself, they know I host DVLottery Winners, and a lot of the DV winners, they ask me like, okay, I want the DV, I want to go to Florida, I want to go to New York, I want to go to Carolina, I want to go to whatever you want to go to. One, well, how much do you want to get paid? Most of the DV lottery winners I host, they start off as $20 or $21 an hour, like fresh from Africa. They get paid $20 to $21 an hour. So that's where I live in New York. But if you go to different states, it depends. Like you can get like some states, like you can get like somebody getting paid $13 an hour, $12 an hour, $14 an hour. So how much do you want to get paid? So if you don't mind getting paid $13 an hour, you can go to those states. And if you want to get paid $20, $21 an hour, you can come to New York. And also, I don't live in New York City. A lot of people have this misconception where New York City or New York is very expensive because they are basing their judgment on New York City, just a small area which is very busy. The cost of living is high, the rent is high, transportation is just like how to navigate, even going to work and back in school is just a headache. So that's New York City, but I live a few hours from New York City, so that's like it's gonna be it's not very expensive as compared to like if you have to go live in New York City. So if you're getting paid $20 to $21 an hour and then the cost of living is affordable, then that's good money. And a lot of people worry about New York because of the taxes. Usually with the taxes, it doesn't affect you as much if you're not making as much. Like if you're making like 70,000, six figures salary, then your taxes are a little bit higher. Or if you own a house, then property taxes, school taxes are a little bit higher, stuff like that. You have a business, taxes are high, you have to pay taxes on whatever income on your business. So if that affects you, then you might want to consider a different state. But if you're just like a new DV lottery winner who's gonna leave, like I'm gonna host you, so you're not gonna worry about property taxes, you're not gonna worry about business taxes, you're not worrying about school taxes, you're not worrying about income tax because you're not getting paid that much money, you're earning minimum wage, then usually like DV lottery winners, they do very well. So if you live just like, even if you live just 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour away from New York City, the cost of living is pretty much affordable. Even people who live in New Jersey, which is like a few minutes from New York City, is cheaper than if you live in New York City. One, you have to understand what you want in life, like what's your goals in life, your career choices, like what is your end goal, what do you want to achieve in America. So if you are, for example, like you're into arts, or maybe you're into like acting, coming to or going to different states, like maybe going to Iowa and you're an actor, that's not gonna work. So you need to go to to states that promote your career or your ambitions in life. So you can go to like maybe California, go where there's Hollywood, where at least your career can pick up. So it just depends what you want to do in life. That's number one. But if you're a DV lottery winner, even before you even think about your career, you have to understand that you need a host. So for the most part, everybody who comes to America on DV lottery, they end up where their host is. So in the beginning, you don't have much of a choice because you'll just go where your host is. It's not like you have anywhere you're going to be hosted anyways, right? So you have to go where your host is. So a lot of people that I'm hosting in New York, it's not like they didn't want to go to different states. They had no choice. I was hosting them and I live in New York, so they ended up there. Number two, like I already explained in the video, is your career. Like, if you're maybe into ice skating, like you want to do ice skating competition and stuff like that. So you can't ice skate in Florida because there's no snow. So you have to find areas where they experience snow to pursue ice skating career, So it just depends. Or maybe you want to do like, you want to be a trader, like, trade in the Forex exchange, trade in working, like, it depends what you want to do. So if you're in Forex, or you're a trader, or you're into business and stuff like that, maybe in New York City, that will work for you. So your career determines where you want to go. And in line with that, like if you're coming from Africa and you don't have any careers, like maybe you're just like, you just wing it. You're just coming to wing it. Then you have to understand what you want in life, like what do you want to study, and what opportunities are there where you're going to be hosted. So if you want to become a doctor or become a nurse. So if you want to become a nurse and you're going to an area where nursing schools are very competitive, and you're going to be on the waiting list for 6 years, you see that will push you like a little bit back. It will hold you back. So you want to find states where like there's no wait list. Like where I live, literally there's no wait list for nursing. If you're smart, like if you get good grades, like you'll get into nursing pretty quick. Like the most you can take like it's a year, but you'll get into nursing pretty quick. So you have to consider factors like that. Like, okay, I want this career. Look for schools that offer that course that you want to pursue, and then look at the waiting list. Look at the funding. Like, do you have any government sponsored programs that can help you go to school? So if you're going to be hosted in a place where you have to pay for everything for school, then it's not like, as a new immigrant, that's going to be a little bit hard for you. So you have to find a state where there's schools, and then there's also government funding or private funding or scholarships or grants that can help you go to school. So that's something that you also have to consider if you're choosing where to be hosted. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the weather. You know, like you see now, if you've looked, like people who are familiar with the US, they know I'm not in New York because we don't have the palm trees. You see the palm trees at the back? The palm trees, this only like we find in like warm areas. So like Florida has them, so I'm in Florida. So for example, if you're like maybe asthmatic, like have really bad asthma, you can't be in a cold, New York is not going to be a very good place for you. So you have to consider the weather. So a lot of people who live in good weather, like for example Florida, sometimes you find like the minimum wage is not very good. Like I don't think you can get paid $21 starting off on a minimum wage in Florida. So sometimes the good weather comes with the downfall. So but it's nice being in Florida like at this time of the year, because like in New York I left like it was like 15 degrees or 10 degrees down there, and I showed up here and it's 80 today, and look at how nice. So it's January, and look at how Florida, how the weather is nice. It's just like African weather, so it's pretty nice. But the thing is, a lot of people who live in cold areas like in New York, usually they have vacation homes in Florida. So they're here during the winter, so a lot of them are down here. So I walked in the grocery stores, and then the other time I went to dinner, and I noticed like there's a lot of old people here. I'm like, I've never seen this many old people in one place. Like it's just like you get into a restaurant. Like I went to Denny's, I went to Longhorn, because I like to go to restaurants that I know I'm familiar with. I know the menu because it's a new area. But I've never seen so many old people in one place. Like in Florida, like you drive around, like I think it's the area, because now where I'm staying is like the suburbs. So a lot of them like the slow suburb areas. So you walk around and you just meet a lot of old people, which is nice. But I'm just like, well, damn, that's a lot of old people in one place. And then it just clicked that they move here during the winter, and then in the summer they'll probably go back to the other areas like New York, whatever, because the weather will be nicer over there. So anyhow, you have to consider the weather. So if you don't want to be cold, then come to Florida. It's a nice place, you see. The thing I notice about Florida that's a downfall is like a lot of areas, they don't have public transportation. So if you're a DVLottery winner and then you want to like go to work and you can't afford a car, you know, a lot of people I host, they don't even own cars the first year, because they just work, get the money to buy the car up front, like cash, without getting a mortgage on it. So living where I live, it gives you that opportunity, because you can take your bus to work. You just bus yourself to work and back, and it's like $1, so $2 a day going to work and back. But if you live around Florida, you're forced to buy a car. Because you need a car, you have to drive like at least 20, 25, 30 minutes to work. Because if you live in the suburbs, then where you work is probably far from where you live. And because there's no public transportation, then you end up needing you end up needing like to buy a car. So those are the things you have to consider. Like even if you go to stay somewhere, find the mode of transportation there and make sure like this busing is not going to be like so hard for you as a new immigrant, because sometimes if you get an Uber, like a cheap Uber that I'm getting here is like $40, like wherever I'm going. Otherwise there's one I pay $60. I'm like, damn, this is a lot. So you have to consider like transportation when you're considering moving to a new area. Thanks for watching. I'll do another video, and when I think about like other factors to consider before you choose a state, then I'll come and talk to you about it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel and see you in my next video.